So I've got this Juno saw waveform now, which is being modulated by LFO1. It's having its pulse width and also the rate dial both modulated. And instead of using the sine wave that we saw in the last lesson, if I click on the waveform display here, you can see I get a whole host of different waveforms to choose from here. So I've changed it from the sine wave to this one with an extra peak. So it's slightly more interesting. And you can hear what it sounds like. Some really tasty movement there then. Now, if we right click on these triangles, as we saw before, we can remove the modulations. And as you can see, we can ascend this LFO to as many parameters as we like. And all I'd have to do is click and drag it to another control like the FM, like we saw last time. And remove it just by right-clicking and then clicking the cross. But if you want to see a more comprehensive list of all our mappings, all our modulation mappings, we need to go to the mod matrix, which we can do by clicking here. And this breaks everything into sections for you, so you can see any assignments that have been mapped. So we've got the mod wheel here, which is assigned to the filter cutoff. And then LFO1, we've got our two mappings there. And you can also see the amounts by this bar. So rather than actually going up to the control itself and clicking on the right triangle and adjusting the range, I can actually do so down here. And you can also turn them on and off using the power switches here. So it's a good way of kind of temporarily muting one. And you've also got other options such as changing it to plus rather than percentage, which kind of increases the range rather than it being kind of restricted to the dial itself. So you can see. Of course, it doesn't go beyond the settings of the dial, but it just rather than working on a percentage within its range, it just pushes it right out to the boundaries. Then you've got this parameter on the end here, which allows you to kind of tame the effect a little bit by changing the curve. And you can also set up mappings here. So for our LFO, if we wanted to assign it to another control, we could just click on add here and then go to maybe something in the oscillator 1 section, like maybe the VSAW mix. Quite difficult to hear, so I'll turn off the others. Or if I don't like that one, I can change it by clicking again. And if I want to get rid of it, I can just go to the bottom option here. But maybe I'll choose the filter instead. Filter cutoff. If I like that, I can then bring in the others. And I can use the power switch at the top here to turn off all three at once. So yeah, just an intro to the modulation matrix there.